Hello students, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to Online Tayari. This is our session on daily current affairs. So the first question for today we have historic peace talks between Afghan government and Taliban have started in which of the following? So you have four options. Try to eliminate all the options and arrive to the right one. Okay? So out of these four options, the right option is option C, Khatar. Okay, so why is this now? So there's peace talk between Afghan government and Taliban. They have begun in Qatar. So why is it now? Because it was about to take place in March, just after the US Taliban deal signed in February, where the Afghan government had released 5,000 Taliban prisoners and 1,000 government troops were to be freed by the armed group. So this prisoner swap took place last week only. Okay. So, what is the significance? It put an end to 20 years of war and killed around 1,60,000 people. So, enforcement of law and justice in the country, that's also an important significance, and political future of Afghanistan after the US has withdrawn its support. Clear? Moving to the second one. With regards to the recent Singapore Convention on Mediation, consider the following statements. So you have three options, three statements here. The first statement is it is also known as the United Nations Convention on International Settlement Agreements resulting from mediations, right? The second one is currently the convention has 50 signatories. The third statement it is the first UN treaty to be named after Singapore. So concentrate on the phrases or the words that are underlined students. Only then you will be able to arrive to the correct option, right? So here the right option is option B. Only 1 and 3. So the first one is right. That is, it is known as the United Nations Convention on International Settlements Agreements resulting from mediation, and the UN General Assembly adopted the convention on 20th December 2018. Okay, so the second statement is incorrect. I'll tell you why. Because at present, the convention has 53 signatories. So it is not 50, it is 53 signatories, including India, USA, and China. Right? And the third statement absolutely is right. It is the first treaty to be of the UN to be named after Singapore, and it is effectively started working from 12 September 2020. So, India signed the convention in July 2019, and this will boost India's ease of doing business by enabling smooth mediated settlements of corporate disputes. It will also increase the confidence of the investors in India and will attract foreign investment. Right? Moving to the next one. Which ministry presented the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce, that's Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020 in Lok Sabha? It is option D, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Okay. So this was presented by the Union Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Shri Narendra Singh Tomar in Lok Sabha. Okay. So the significance of this is the bill aims to provide for a barrier-free trade of farmers' produce outside the markets mentioned under several state agricultural produce market laws. And also there's interstate and intrastate trade and commerce of farmers' produce will be conducted. It also provides a facilitative framework for electronic trading. So I'll tell you the background of this. There were limitations for farmers in selling agricultural produce outside the notified APMC market yards. So that is why the whole thing is in the present situation, right? Moving to the fourth one. What is the food index for the month of August 2020 based on the monthly wholesale price index? It is option A, 153.3. So the consisting of food articles from the primary articles group and food product from the manufactured products group for August 2020 that was based on the monthly wholesale price index 153.3. Okay. So what is this wholesale price index? It is a price of a typical basket of wholesale goods and it focuses on the price of goods traded between corporations And this was published by the Office of the Economic Advisor, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade in the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So also there were transitional figures of the WPI, that's Wholesale Price Index, release of 14th every month. Clear, students? Moving to the next one. Who is the newly elected deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha? I think you all are aware of it. It is option B, Harivansh Narayan Singh. So Harivansh Narayan Singh has been re-elected as the deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha for the second term consecutively. The opposition had given Manoj Jha's name of RJD against Harivansh. So the election is under Article 89 of the Indian Constitution. Rajya Sabha shall choose one of its MPs to be the deputy chairman when the position becomes vacant. So it is as per Article 89. Okay, students? So, what is the role of the deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha? So, he takes charge of the proceedings of Rajya Sabha in the absence of the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, right? He also acts as a chairman in his absence and he has all the powers of the chairman as well, right? Okay, moving to the sixth one. Recently in news, India's next generation fleet frigate of Project 17A takes off at. You have four options. The right option is option C, Mazagon Dock. Okay. So this was India's next generation fleet frigate of Project 17A has been set up at Mazagon Dock in Mumbai. It's formally called as Mazagon Dock Limited. So what is the significance behind this? With its establishment, what happens is India adopts the best in class technology in the world, and it was also loaded with the next generation weapons platforms like Barak 8 and hypersonic BrahMos. And it'll be a formidable force in the Indian Navy. And this P-17A, that is the Projecting 17A, the fleet frigates, they will be a net security provider in the Indian Ocean region and beyond the Indo-Pacific. Okay, moving to the next one. The Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020, it seeks to remove which of the following commodities from the list of essential commodities? It is option A, cereals and pulses. They want to remove commodities like cereals, pulses, onions, potatoes, oilseeds, edible oils from the list of essential commodities. So, why is this being done? So, this will make a private investors fearless of excessive regulatory interference in their business operations, right? They will get freedom to produce, hold, move, distribute, and supply that will lead to control economies of scale and attract private sector or foreign direct investment into agricultural sector. Okay. So, what's the background behind this? So, farmers have been unable to get better prices due to the lack of investment in cold storage under the bill. So, what happens under this bill? They will get investment in cold storages and modernization of the food supply chain. Clear? Moving to the next one. Recently in the news, what is Nishtha? It is option D, Integrated Teacher Training Program. Okay, this was introduced by the Department of School Education and Literacy. So, NIShtha stands for National Initiative for Schools Head. Okay, and Teachers. So, what is NIShtha? National Initiative for School Heads and Teachers. It's a holistic advancement. Okay. So, what are the details about this? It has been launched under the centrally sponsored scheme of Samagra Shiksha, right? And the objective is to build skills among all the teachers and the school principals at the elementary stage. It is the world's largest teachers training program of its type. So why is it in the news now? Because under this Nishtha, there are 16,991 school heads and teachers have been trained in 2019-20. So there are that's something like around 17 lakh, right? Around 17 lakh school heads, teachers have been trained in this. Okay, let's move to the ninth one. Who has won the women's single 2020 US Open tennis tournament? It is option B, Osaka. So Naomi Osaka has won the women's single 2020 US Open tennis tournament after defeating Victoria Azarenka. She has become the fourth woman in the Open era to win the Grand Slam finals. Okay, clear students, moving to the next one. So Parliament has passed the National Commission for Homeopathy Bill 2020. So what does this bill deal with? It is option C, repeal the Homeopathy Centre Council Act 1973. So what is the Homeopathy Central Council Act 1973? So this structures the role of the Central Council of Homeopathy and to enable the maintenance of a central register of issues and entities those are related to the field of homeopathy. Clear students? So I'll give you a few details about the bill as well. So this was to set up a national commission for homeopathy, and the commission for homeopathy will comprise 20 members, which will include a chairperson, the president of Homeopathy Education Board, the director general of National Institute of Homeopathy, the president of Medical Assessment, and the rating board for homeopathy, along with other members. Okay, students, clear? So, students, these are the 10 questions for today. So, I hope you all are clear with all the 10 questions we have discussed until now. Tomorrow, I'll be coming up with another set of MCQs for you. Until then, stay tuned to Online Tayari. Thank you.